Coming up next on the CHGO Cubs podcast, presented by Toyota and Bet365. The sweep was there for the taking, and then the Red Sox scored 6 unanswered runs to salvage Sunday. We'll talk about that, of course. Plus, a trade target is blistering hot. And what are we going to do about the Brewers? That and more coming up next on CHGO. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? This is the CHGO Cubs podcast driven by Toyota. Let's go places and Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Make sure you use the code CHGO365 at signup. Cubs had this sweep. They were so close through 24 innings of this series against the Red Sox, who had won 10 straight going into the All-Star break, but it slips away, and for some pretty obvious reasons. We're going to talk about that. Hi to everybody in the live YouTube chat. We've got Kevin Wells sitting in today, Sarah running the ones and twos. I'm Luke Stuckmeyer. We've got some not fun stuff to talk about on the podcast. We'll do that a little bit later. I do want to talk baseball. We have a lot to get through. So let's get to it. I do want to say hi to everybody in the chat, and make sure you subscribe to the CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. That's where you can get in the chat and have a lot of fun. And I've seen a lot of people in the Discord already today.
Good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Really good to see everybody back in.
So you had this 1-0 lead, but it did feel like they were teetering on the edge of trouble all afternoon long, right? Like they're just sitting there, and we could talk about leaving guys on base and the opportunities and the bases loaded and stuff, but when you walk the leadoff guy in 5 straight innings, I'm going to suggest you almost never win that game.
I don't know what the numbers would be, but I tend to agree with you.
Can't be good.
I would assume that would be negative. Yeah, you can't. Too many walks today, not enough clutch hits today, and kind of the thesis of the whole season, right? You struggle against ace-level left-handed pitching. I mean, Garrett Crochet had it going today, but you hit him well. You had base runners. It's not like you didn't put guys on, just not enough execution on the margins today.
Yeah, I mean, you had one of the best pitchers in baseball, and you had a lead on him, and you had so many opportunities to get that done. But for me, those walks are so frustrating because we got a good performance out of Cade Horton. I saw David Snyder in the chat saying, everybody keeps saying we need a top 3 pitcher. You just saw one today.
Yeah.
And frankly, that performance from Horton was spectacular. Now, one of the things he worked on specifically that the Cubs wanted before he came up to the majors was walks, right? He had a handful of them again today, and you don't want to walk the leadoff guy, but Cade Horton's not the reason they lost the game. They continued to do it when the bullpen came in, walking the leadoff man. And sooner or later, it's going to get to you. I do have this quick question before we get into the nuts and bolts of this game. We saw Bregman with a 3-run homer, pinch hit, 3-run homer, and we saw Crochet shoving for the most part against the Cubs offense. Which one of those guys from the offseason, we talked about both, which one of them do you regret not getting the most?
I don't know. That's it's a tough question. It's a tough question to answer.
Both.
Yeah, you wish you had them both. I mean, probably my gut tells me Garrett Crochet, but my heart tells me at the same time like Alex Bregman, because fulfills your lineup, and there's not that injury history there, but, pitching wins in the postseason, so I think Crochet would be my answer, pinpoint, and he was great today, and, Bregman pinch hit off the bench, just the back-breaking home run, so that's what great players do, right? That's what Kyle Tucker's done all year for the Cubs. The Astros were a machine of creating great talent, and, they decided to move on from those guys, and he took more money from the Red Sox and ended up there. I mean, that's the end of the story.
When you give a lot of people argue about whether or not they like the ghost runner at second in extra innings. Well, it's not the same thing, but it's close enough by just giving the other team a runner at first to start the inning, 5 innings in a row. Look how often that ghost runner scores in extra innings. So much so that when he's at second base, you say, well, if you can hold that team to 1 run that inning, that's a bonus. You've won in extra innings if you can stop the ghost runner at just 1 run.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the law of averages would tell you about how bad it is to walk the leadoff man, but it's not good. And it came back and bit them. Now you could have. I will say that the Cubs have had some chances for sweeps this season, where you say, man, I wish they could have got that sweep because it was right there, like right when you get that lead and you can get Crochet out of the game. You say it was right there. But I don't want. And I never like to tell everybody in the live YouTube chat how to Cub, right? I've said that since day one. I'm not going to tell you how to Cub.
No
However,
way.
I will say, just remember, we started the day so optimistic because the Cubs started the day with the best record in all of baseball. So while we're all bummed out on a cloudy, dreary Sunday afternoon, we should remember that the Cubs started the day with the best record in baseball.
And you came off perhaps the 2 best games of the entire season that you played.
Really good ones.
Complete 1 through 9 innings on Friday and Saturday were perhaps the 2 best games you played all season, start to finish, behind an unbelievable start from Shota yesterday. I mean, it was a successful weekend at Wrigley Field. I mean, they had 25 hits, hit a bunch of home runs. You got a great start yesterday, and you got a pretty decent start from Ray on Friday. The walks were a little high, but he did what he needed to do to get you through 5. It's a successful weekend, folks. It's back-to-back series wins over 2 playoff contending teams that are going head-to-head in the AL East right now. I mean, you beat 2 really good teams. You won the series. You couldn't come away with a sweep. It seems to be the motto this year, right? It seems like Sundays have just not gone their way for whatever reason this year, and you go up against
not just this year. Ask Corey and Brendan about it.
Yeah,
they don't like Sundays.
But I mean, successful weekend, guys. I mean, you got to be happy with where the Cubs are offensively right now. And if you look at all the advanced metrics that we're going to talk about later on in the show about where the Brewers stack up against the Cubs, and are they getting lucky? Are they not? Are the Cubs getting lucky? Are they not? The numbers will show you, and the percentages will show you the Cubs are in a really great place right now, and you shouldn't be bummed about losing to a team and Garrett Crochet, who is one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. You shouldn't be losses like that happen to good pitchers. We've watched it all year.
Well, and I think, we talked maybe 2-3 weeks ago before the Red Sox went on their heater going into the All-Star break. They were a trade target partner, right? We were throwing names around. Maybe you still are. I still think I've heard some debate going into this game, like had the Cubs actually pulled off the sweep, could 3 little games convince the Red Sox now all of a sudden to flip their script and go back to being sellers? Here's what I think the Red Sox will do. I think the Red Sox are going to be one of those teams on the fine line. They might make a trade on both sides. Mm-hmm. They might. But I don't think you're getting the players you want to get from the Red Sox at the trade deadline, which is interesting because who saw 10 straight wins coming? Who saw 6 straight losses coming from the Tigers? Who saw the Brewers potentially doing back-to-back sweeps against the Dodgers? We'll get to them in a second. That game's not going to be over before the end of this live taping of this podcast. But, the Brewers are concerned at this point. Do we have a couple of Toyota Super Chats already, Sarah?
Oh, look at that. We do. Yeah.
Can you tell us where Cody is? Ethan for $1.99. We will. And a $5 Super Chat from Michael. This team is living and dying by the long ball. That's not sustainable for success, especially for the playoffs. They need another clutch bat. I agree with some of that for sure, Michael. Thanks for both Super Chats. Appreciate both of you. They did hit a lot of long balls. Listen, the reason this Cubs team has entered today with the most wins or best record in all of baseball is you look at it and it's like, man, they're getting contributions for guys you didn't think they were going to get contributions. For all the times I've made fun of the exceeding projections thing, like they're exceeding projections all over the place. That's why it's a special team. Like, this is a good team. Don't let a win slip away on Sunday and tell yourself the Cubs are this bad team and they're not going to get it done. Like, I've accepted it. This team is a World Series contender. They are.
Absolutely.
You don't have the best record entering July 20th and say they're not a contender. They are. There's a lot of important work to do between now and the trade deadline, and then there's more important work to do after the trade deadline, yes. But this is just one of those games. I think Gary said it, longtime person in the chat, one of our diehards, and Gary's right. Take this one and flush it, right?
I don't disagree with that. And let me just put a little bit of context around the Super Chat that the Cubs only hit home runs. Yeah, they hit a lot of home runs. They're a home run hitting team. The Yankees obviously lead the league in homers, but the Cubs do more than that. I mean, they're top 3 in steals. They're top 5 in OPS, team OPS, so that's on base plus slugging. So they're on base all the time. And their WOBA numbers through their starting 9 are outstanding. 7 of their guys in expected WOBA are in the top 100 in baseball. So they're doing more than just hitting home runs. They're just I can understand with games like yesterday, it can make it seem like, oh, you're only hitting solo home runs to win games. I can understand that, but the Cubs have won games in so many different ways this year. I don't think it's fair to just say they only hit home runs because they don't. I mean, they do have a lot of extra base hits. They are top 10 in walks in baseball this year. So let's pump the brakes on that a little bit. I don't disagree, though, Michael. I do think that there will be work done to this lineup. The lineup you saw today is not the lineup you're going to see down the stretch run every time. I mean, sure, I think maybe we don't know about the future of Justin Turner, things like that. We've been over it a million times, but they are going to try to add depth in the starting lineup. The pitching's obvious.
And rotation.
Yes, the pitching is obvious. They're going to get pitchers, but I do think they want Eugenio Suarez. I do think they want another big bat. I do think there is smoke there. I do think that they are going to add significant pieces to the depth part of the lineup. But let's be honest, even if they don't get Suarez, I mean, the lineup is already the best offense in baseball. It's proven that over the last 4 months of the year.
And it's not just smoke and mirrors.
Right. The track record is there. It's proven. Go look at all the numbers. Go look at the advanced metrics on StatsCast, however you want to Cub. The numbers kind of back up their offensive production. Every angle you look at, through every lens you look at, they're a playoff team. They're a World Series contender. Every lens.
Vanilla Chill in the live YouTube chat here at the All News CHGO Cubs YouTube channel, talking about the fact that I love that Crochet can sit in front of the base and block PCA, but then it's obstruction when Nico just grazes the runner. I hear you, and I said the same thing watching the game. Like I didn't think PCA had a path to third base. I mean, Crochet was basically just standing in front of the bag. Where's he supposed to slide to? But that's not the reason, of course, that they lost this game.
No,
it's the walks and the runners in scoring position. Now, the PCA thing could have led to another run. Could have been a 2-0 game.
I will say that's a topic that we can get into later on, a different show or whatever, but the subjective calls on the base paths, we saw the Cubs kind of get, not hosed by it today, I think that's too harsh, but they lost this game because of other reasons, but the subjective calls on the base paths are impacting more than just the Cubs.
So you're saying, can we get robots on the bases too? Droids?
I think I'm a fan of the ABS system.
Me too.
I think it'll be really good for baseball next season. But in terms of having umps on the bases, I'm fine with it. But taking some of the subjectivity out of these calls, establishing a base path by putting your tag out there, or if a guy's out of the base path, or if a guy's blocking the base, there needs to be more. There needs to be more structure to that, in my opinion. I just think that there's too much. Oh, this could have gone one way, this could have gone the other way. We saw it get called 2 ways to the Red Sox favor today, and that is frustrating for fans. I think you want to look at the hard data. You want to look at the actual rule, the drawn-out hard rule that tells you what an umpire can call. And I think even for them, it makes their job hard too. So I would like to see that designed a little bit better.
We're going to talk more about this Cubs series coming up in just a little bit. Are you satisfied with 2 out of 3 against the red-hot Red Sox? Let us know in the live YouTube chat. We'll get some of your comments coming up in just a bit. Plus, we'll talk about leadoff by committee. We'll talk about PCA versus lefties. And we'll talk about a whole lot more. But first, a word from our great sponsors here at CHGO. Hey, baseball fans, thinking about upgrading your drive here this baseball season? Well, Toyota's 2025 lineup is definitely worth a look. There's the RAV4, versatile, reliable, ready for adventure. The Grand Highlander, plenty of room, super comfortable, and great for families. Looking for efficiency, of course, the Corolla's got you covered. It's smart and stylish and easy on gas. If you need something tougher, don't forget the Tacoma and finally the Camry, sleek and packed with performance. Summer starts here. Find your adventure. Visit your local dealer and find yours today. You can check out the full lineup at Toyota.com or stop by your local Chicagoland Toyota dealership. Toyota, let's go places. Great time to sign up and be a CHGO diehard. Upgrade your fandom today. Get access to our exclusive written content, a free t-shirt, plenty of discounts on merch and events. Go to allchgo.com for the latest information on how you can join the thousands of CHGO diehards already in our family. We want to connect with you on an even greater level. Pretty clear summer's here. Oh, is it here? It's going to be hot all week. Is your home's air conditioning up for the challenge? Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. They've been serving the area for over 50 years. Now is the time to get your air conditioning checked out. Four Seasons experts ready to help you out with installation, maintenance, and repair. 2024 was the hottest year on record, and we're on pace to maybe be hotter this year. Save up to $4,000 on new comfort systems with Four Seasons new AC units, $39 a month. AC furnace combos, $57 a month. Your trusted local experts are Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Call 866-4SEASONS. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for your special offers and money-saving coupons. That's Four Seasons Heatingcooling.com. You can sweat out the Cub games. Don't sweat it out in your house. All right.
Very nice ending to that ad read, by the way.
Yeah, well,
like that.
Every once in a while. Cubs lose 6-1. They had a 1-0 lead. Red Sox score 6 unanswered. But they still take 2 out of 3. And so I'm satisfied with that, even though I'm disappointed in what is a very dreary, depressing Sunday. But they led 11-1 is what the Cubs had outscored the Red Sox through 24 innings of baseball this series.
I also saw...
That's not a bad team. That's a team that thinks they're going to the playoffs. That was the hottest team in all of baseball.
Yeah, I mean, 21 straight scoreless innings for the Cubs in this series. You know, they scored on Friday. They put up that 1 run. I don't remember what inning that was, but if you do the math, obviously the shutout yesterday, and you get through 6, you know, with no runs today, pretty success.
With Crochet on the mound, you had the lead.
Very successful weekend. Yeah, it is disappointing, but the Cubs pitching staff, net positive, was absolutely outstanding this weekend. Bullpen too.
Yeah, I wish I would have been able to get to one of the 3 games. Over 40,000 fans at every game. Corey was texting us about just how the electricity at Wrigley Field, like, it feels like, take the end of the game out today, it feels like the fringe Cubs fans, and maybe I shouldn't call them fringe, but just the people that were kind of casually watching for now because they've been bad for 3-4 years, right? Like, those fans are waking up and saying, oh, wow, this PCA guy's a star.
Yeah.
The league is now, oh, wow, wait a minute. The Cubs have the best record in all of baseball, right? Like, people are starting to recognize, and that's why you're seeing Wrigley come alive again. Not that it wasn't at moments for great games, but I think 40,000 is something you're going to see on a pretty consistent basis down the stretch. You're going to see 39, 40. The Red Sox was sold early in the season because everybody wants to come see the Red Sox. Mm-hmm. But you're going to see that type of attendance a lot. So I hope the Cubs will match that enthusiasm as the trade deadline approaches.
And not to mention, too, they have, when the Cubs have been on national TV the last couple of months here, those are games you want to get up for as a fan, man. Saturday was so exciting. Even if you couldn't make it to the park, I wanted to go really bad. Tickets were out of this world expensive because everyone wanted to be there.
Yeah.
It was, Crane Kenny said Friday was one of the most sought after games in team history.
That's why you got to use game time.
So, right. I mean, these are the types of games when the Cubs are on national TV and the world is watching, they have excelled in the last couple of months on ESPN. They've excelled on Fox. And the broadcast was exciting yesterday, too.
Yeah.
It was just having John Lester talking with Adam Wainwright and A.J. Pierzynski, and Adam Amin is just outstanding at what he does. it was just such a fun listen. It was such a fun environment. You could hear the crowd through the speakers. I mean, this team is really pushing people back into Cubs baseball because it's been a long couple of years, and that's the takeaway from the weekend. It was exciting, and I remember we were with the Tarek Skubal game.
Yeah,
everyone was really excited about that one, and that was one of the best games the Cubs have played. It was one of the best baseball games of the year. I know they lost,
also a Cade Horton game,
right? But those are the types of games you want to see the Cubs continue to compete in and be a part of and show success in, and they've for the most part. They've done that on the national TV stage. I think the world kind of is seeing that this Cubs team is really good. I know the national guys have said so. David Ortiz, Alex Rodriguez during the All-Star break, all that coverage. They have consistently said, hey, man, nobody's overlooking the Cubs right now. They are not an underdog by any stretch of the imagination. They're playing great ball.
Not anymore. You mentioned how hard it is to get a ticket, how expensive they're getting it. That's why we have a special deal, by the way. This is a good time to mention it, right, Sarah? We have a Die Hard exclusive event coming up middle of next month. So we're about a month away from this. It's Cubs Pirates on the 15th of August, the Friday 120 Club. Die Hards only right now. It's an all-you-can-eat, all-you-can-drink. We're doing the rooftop next to the firehouse.
Okay.
I've been to that one. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, on a day where let's say if it's kind of scattered skies and you're looking at it saying, what if it rains? Hey, man, we're in the bleachers Friday 120 Club, right? No. If it rains, you just go back inside the air conditioning and grab another burger.
Yep.
So it's going to be a good time. Right now it's for diehards only. Good chance to go get it. Check out our website to go join in on that fun.
It's a pretty sweet view from up there, too.
It is. It's just a different perspective. View. I like to sit all over the place. All right, let's go back to Friday's win. Let's just talk about this series in general. I'm okay with 2 out of 3. You get the 3-run homer from Seiya, which is great. But I would like to point out that Colin Ray, for all the people, I joke, everybody wants to DFA everybody. Everybody that wants to DFA Colin Ray, and I think the goal would be by the end of the All-Star break that Colin Ray is a part of your bullpen. Maybe he's that guy that comes in and just eats a bunch of innings. Maybe he's just a backup for somebody gets hurt. Maybe he's a doubleheader pitcher. I don't think you want him as one of your main starters, but he's been everything you really asked him to be, which was a guy who could just help you if you had a ton of injuries and make some starts. In his last 4 starts, because there was a stretch there where everybody's like, that's it, he's washed, we're done, we got good Ray for a little bit, DFA him, he had 2 bad starts, gone. Now, in his last 4 starts, he's got 4 straight wins, an ERA of 1.90 with a whip of 0.93 in his last almost 24 innings for the Cubs. Hey, guys, put a little respect in Colin Ray. I'm not saying that you don't need to go add a real deal starter at the trade deadline. You do. And I'm not saying Colin Ray is a superstar. But if you don't think he has helped this Cubs team, you are crazy.
Well, Craig Counsell has said it all year, right? He believes in outgetters.
Mm-hmm.
We need outgetters. He doesn't really believe in the pitching philosophy of one guy can only be a starter, one guy can only be a bullpen guy, one guy can only be low leverage, one guy's a 6th inning. That's old-term baseball thinking. Counsell is he's a very analytical, progressive form of baseball manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he sees Colin Ray as an effective way to get outs early on in games. I guarantee you he will be used in the postseason. I don't think he'll be used for an extended period of time unless there's, injuries and things like that. But how many times have we seen Counsell look at the matchups and say, hey, if we get Assad back and he looks good in September and we go out and trade for a really good, starting pitcher and he doesn't have great numbers against the top-heavy lineups like the Dodgers and the Phillies, 2 teams you're going to have to get through to raise a flag this year, go play the matchup with an opener. Maybe Colin Ray's that opener. Maybe it's Drew Pomeranz is that opener. I mean, having guys who can fill multiple roles and play matchups against the best hitters in a lineup is invaluable. And Colin Ray has done everything you could have asked for. I mean,
yep.
we've said it time after time after time on this show. I mean, he's been long-term relief guy started there. Hey, we need you to start. Okay. Started out, had a couple really good starts in a row, slowed down there, and then on Friday it wasn't a outstanding drop everything, call your kids, call your wives start, but like he got the job done. He got you through 5. He walked a couple guys, but he had a couple strikeouts too. It was a good, solid professional outing, and that's what he's been. He's been a great, solid professional baseball pitcher for the Cubs this year, and that's what you need. You need more of those guys.
He's your 5th starter. He's kind of what he's delivered is pretty much what I hoped Assad was going to be this year. Like, maybe I expected a little more out of Assad this year because I have, who doesn't love the ass man? But, like...
Yeah, he was great last year.
Your 5th starter, they've been all right at 5th starter. That's not the problem. And I don't know if there is really a major problem, but there's additions that need to be made. Starter is one of them, and we know they need a bat. Now, on Saturday, the shutout win, 5 solo homers, and, they were 0-for with runners in scoring position, right? I believe yesterday they had the solo homers,
Sure.
thank goodness, but and Shota was great again.
Yeah, 7 scoreless.
Shota's back, his ERA down to 2.40. And I know everybody's going to tell me, Stuckey, you're old. Cody tells me all the time,
what are you gonna say?
Stuckey, you're old. Record means nothing. And in general, it does, but it always means something. Because if you're 22-6 in your career with the Cubs, you're doing good things. Can that number be fudged by, can he be lucky? Yeah, a bunch of times, yes. But the more you expand it out and say the guy's won 22 games and he's lost 6, you can also say he's given his team a chance to win. Would I rather look at the ERA and the whip and all those other things? Sure. But I'm just saying, don't totally forget wins and losses. Shota's showing you who he is right there. That number does tell you something. Not everything, wins and losses, but 22-6 as a Cubs starter, he's good. He's not just lucky.
Do you know the Cubs' record when Shota starts?
What is it?
32-10.
Okay, so does that mean nothing? Of course not.
No. That means you have an ace. That's what that means.
Yeah.
You have an ace. You have a number 1. Shota will start game 1 of your first playoff series. You got to try and go find a guy who can replicate that and be Matthew Boyd insurance should Matthew Boyd's innings get limited towards the end of the season. That's what you need. Shota's been excellent.
Right.
He is your number 1. He is an ace. 32-10 in 42 starts as a Cub.
Yeah, it is.
That's what you saw today in Garrett Crochet. It's on that level of playing field. Absolutely it is.
Man, I'm still going back to that question at the beginning of the show. Crochet or Bregman, which one would you rather have right now? And again, the answer is still both. The 5 solo homers, when I was looking at that afterwards, I was thinking to myself, all right, PCA's got 26. That's, beyond our expectations, right? But the one thing that jumped out to me is that Bush is at 20 now, and he's got more homers than Kyle Tucker. I'm not saying don't sign Kyle Tucker. I'm a big fan of, hey, sign Kyle Tucker. What are you, the Cubs? Yes, go sign him. But of the crazy things that we've said going throughout this season and talked about, I can't believe this happened. I can't believe this happened. I can't believe this happened. I hope it ends with World Series. Can't believe this happened. But in the middle, you go back and say, Michael Busch has more home runs than Kyle Tucker. I didn't see that happening. As much as I liked Michael Busch going into the season, I said, listen, I have some, I had faith, but I had to take a little pause at Michael Busch. I can't just say one season proves to me he's going to be great at the major league level, because one season doesn't mean anything when you zoom out and look at a major league career. Lots of guys have one good year.
And he wasn't bad last year.
No. That's what I'm saying. He was good.
Fine.
But I couldn't go into it and just automatically say, he's taking the next step. He's going to hit 30 home runs this year. I couldn't get on board with that because a lot of guys have a good season, then take a step back there next year. And man, has he delivered.
Michael Busch, and what's more impressive than him having more homers than Kyle Tucker to this point in the season? Now, I think Tucker will end the season with more home runs than Michael Busch. I still think Kyle Tucker is the best player on the team. But what's more impressive right now is Busch having more homers than Tucker. Mm-hmm. He's played way less games. Tucker plays every day. Bush doesn't play every day. Bush didn't start today against lefties. They're starting to kind of give him more run on lefties, and he's been doing an okay job there. But he has a significantly fewer amounts at bats than Tucker does. So I think looking at it through that lens, what Michael Bush has done is, I mean, the biggest all-star snub. I mean, he's had an excellent year, and talk about being, oh, hey, now you got to lead off for us. And he's been excellent in the leadoff role, too. I have his numbers pulled up in the leadoff role before we get to our next ad break. I mean, he 3 hits and 13 at-bats, a walk, 2 homers, his OPS 987 in the leadoff hole. It's a small sample size.
Yeah, I like it.
But the numbers start to show you that that's another option and another card that Counsell can play if he gets in a jam when the games start to matter more as the season progresses here.
As we speak live, the Dodgers still lead the Brewers. In the live YouTube chat, tell me how much you dislike the Milwaukee Brewers. And first, a word from our sponsors. Looking to buy, sell, trade, or rip open a pack of cards? Arena Club is changing the hobby with their transparent slab packs and no-fee auctions. You got to check out these slab packs. You can rip a pack for as low as $25, hit on a card that's worth tens of thousands of dollars. Every pack has grails that are at least 20 times the price of the pack. Whether you're buying, selling, trading, grading, or ripping packs, Arena Club is the safest, most trusted name in the game. If you're heading to the 45th Annual National Sports Collectors Convention, be sure to stop by their booth. It's all happening July 30th through August 3rd in Rosemont at the Convention Center. They have special promotions available for both new and current customers. Make sure you stop by right now. Get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/CHGO. Don't forget, use the code CHGO. All right, Game Time makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Right now, everybody wants to get out to Wrigley Field and see your Chicago Cubs. Prices on Game Time and the app actually go down the closer you get to first pitch. They have these killer last-minute deals, views from your seat, and they have a low-price guarantee. They have zone deals. Going to tell you about that in a second. The low-price guarantee, well, Game Time will credit you 110% the difference if it's not the cheapest. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. And again, create an account, redeem with the code CHGO, $20 off, then download that Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed, and those exclusive zone deals right now, there's one more for Cubs games, 10% off exclusive zone deals. August 3rd against the Orioles, zones 29 to 32. You can get 10% off, plus you wait to the last minute. That's where you get your best deals. Okay, Cubs lose a 6-1 in the series finale. Again, we're not going to have the end result of the Brewers-Dodgers game by the end of this live podcast, but we do know that they went into this with 9 straight wins.
Yeah.
A chance at 10 straight wins and back-to-back sweeps over the Dodgers. Whether or not they get that, obviously affects the standings a little bit, but I am interested in the fact that the Brewers have had this long winning streak, right? 9 or 10 games, maybe, who knows. Mm-hmm. The Cubs' longest, this would have tied the Cubs' longest at 5 in a row. It's just a different way of their seasons have unfolded, right? Like, I'm waiting for that Cubs 10-game winning streak. And if they get it, they can still run out in front and take this division the way they should. But the Brewers have made it interesting. They've made it a 9-10 game winning streak changes things. The Cubs are lucky they almost won 5 in a row here.
And do you remember back to early on in the season when the Brewers were really struggling offensively?
Yes.
And Pat Murphy,
I loved it,
sat in front of the media and goes, "We just don't have a very good offense right now." It's a long season, folks.
Yeah.
A long season. The Brewers are a very good baseball team, man, and they're no doubt about it. I mean, their expected win-loss record is the exact same as their record.
Yeah.
Now, StatCast data does indicate that they are getting a little bit lucky.
Oh, I liked it. I like where you're going here,
That
Kevin.
does not mean that they're a bad baseball team and that's the only reason they are in where they are.
But
no.
you are saying they're lucky.
They are getting a little lucky, and
Okay.
I'll tell you why that is. So let's pull up that graph there, Sarah, would you? That's the playoff odds. So if you look at that, you can pull that one up too. Let's put this one up real quick. The Cubs have by far, they're right there on the bottom right-hand portion of the graph there. Their odds of winning the division and making the postseason higher than any other team in baseball right now, according to MLB StatCast data. The Cubs are a great team, folks.
Yep.
The Brewers are also a very good team. I like looking at it through those lenses because I think it's important to remind people that, you know, the science is better than the eye test at times, and it can actually tell you this is where the Cubs project at this very moment in time. Now, StatCast does not provide a direct luck score. That's not a stat, but it's an interpretation based on like analysis and expected versus actual outcomes. So let's talk about weighted on base plus for the Brewers. And there you can kind of see right here the luck.
WOBA plus?
Yeah. Weighted on base plus. Why is that an important stat? How many times guys are getting on base? Who's getting lucky? Who's not? The Brewers have right now. Let me
I feel like I'm sitting with Brendan right now.
Yeah, I put on my nerd glasses
What
here
happened?
because I don't know, man. I like looking at this
Now
stuff.
I know how Corey feels. There's all kinds of colored graphs.
So actual on-base weighted on base for the Brewers. They have 3 guys in the top 100 of all of baseball. Isaac Collins leads the team with a WOBA of .346. Yelich is at 79, and Sal Frelick is at 96. 3 guys in the top 100. All 3 of those guys are getting lucky at the plate because their expected WOBA far below what their actual WOBA is. So they're getting on with softer contact and things like that. The Cubs have 7 players right now in, I believe the Cubs have 7 players right now in their whole lineup right now of guys with a WOBA in the top 100. So the guy leading the Brewers with a expected weighted on base average is Andrew Vaughn at 104. So again, the Cubs offense shows you they have better hitters, they have a better lineup. They're hitting the ball harder, farther. All of that matters because eventually stuff runs out. The Brewers have their 3 best players right now leading their offense. Frelick and Yelich, obviously at the top of that, are having great seasons. But the numbers show you the contact is not as hard. They are getting, quote unquote, lucky in a way. That's all that means.
Because they're the kings of the regular season.
This does not mean they're a bad team. These stats are not predictive stats. These are just designed to kind of look and try to mirror future performances based on things like launch angle, things like ballpark factors, how hard you're hitting the ball, where you're hitting the ball, all of those things. So, again, the Cubs right now have a much better lineup, proven much better lineup, but the records are pretty much the same, and that's baseball. There's so much variance in the sport. You got to do what Craig Counsell said. You just got to focus on winning games. You can't really worry about where the Brewers are at this moment in time. They're red hot. They're not going to keep winning every single game, but they're playing good ball right now, and they're going to be a thorn in your side the next couple of months, and you have the resources to go address and
there you
get
go.
better.
That's where I wanted to go next because you know how you take care of the Brewers and you kick them back to being the little brother up north that's never won anything?
The dollars, baby.
You add Gino Suarez, who has 2 more homers today, to your lineup, right?
Mm-hmm.
You stick him at third base, could be expensive. And you add, I don't know, we've dreamed on the show, I still dream of Mackenzie Gore, but like, give me another really good starter. You give me those 2 things, and the Brewers are not a factor. They're not in a league with the Cubs. They have some pitching, but if you can add to the lineup that you have now, Gino Suarez at third base, pumping bombs out. I guess he's okay after the All-Star game. 4 in 2 games.
Yeah. And let's call a spade here. I think the Brewers want him too. Because the Brewers don't have a guy in their lineup right now with an OPS of over 800. Think about that. The Brewers have the 2nd best record in baseball right now, and they don't have a batter in their lineup with an OPS over 800.
Because they're lucky.
The Cubs right now.
You showed me the graphs.
The Cubs have PCA, Seiya, Tucker, Michael Busch, Carson Kelly. I know Amaya's on the IL. All of those guys right now, OPS is over 800. That matters. That matters a lot because that shows you that they're not getting lucky. The Cubs are who they are, and the Brewers are a good team. They are. you know, a Eugenio Suarez is going to be a highly sought-after trade candidate. The Yankees definitely want him.
Yep.
They've made that known. They make it known every season that they want the biggest bat on the market. They say it every single trade deadline. They always will.
How much do you give up for him? I mean, he's obviously available.
I think you have
He's
to.
obviously available. You're going to have to outbid the Yankees. You're going to have to outbid the Brewers. You're probably going to have to outbid some other big money teams because everybody's going to look at that bat and say, well, that could look good in our lineup.
Here's why I'm willing
What's
to
he
pay
worth
him
to
more.
you?
Here's why I'm willing to pay more for Suarez. Because unless Jed has used the word creative a lot, and if he can get creative and go get Mackenzie Gore and a future star top of the rotation piece, which we've heard time and time again is very unlikely, you need to bulletproof your offense. So I'm willing to pay more for an expiring contract of a guy who is third in baseball in home runs and can consistently provide you more thump
So
in a team that's already
if you can
top
only
three in home
add
runs.
nice pitching, then the alternative is go big bat.
Right. Make your offense bulletproof. Make a strength an even bigger
Even though
strength.
it's yeah.
I'm willing to pay more for Suarez and outbid the Yankees. The Yankees have a good, decent farm system, I believe, and the Brewers do too. The Brewers have a very good farm system.
Sure.
The Brewers' farm system is probably better than the Cubs at this moment in time. I don't know about the Yankees. I'd have to look at the
Yeah, but you have to
total number of
remember
guys.
they're the smallest market in all of Major League Baseball. They're also not the big spender. So like
Right.
they're not going to go out and spend what the Cubs might to. While the Cubs may not spend like the Yankees or the Mets or some of those other teams, they are spending way more than the Brewers.
100%.
So the Brewers have to they depend on developing their own players. Every team does, but for a team in the smallest market of all Major League Baseball, they got to be careful about how many of those prospects they start to give away because that's their lifeblood.
Yeah,
That is their lifeblood. Now, Gary in the chat says it would take
what does he think?
Jordan Wicks and who was the other one Gary said?
Jordan Wicks
And Assad. All right.
Assad.
Assad and Wicks. Would you be willing to do that to get Suarez? Now, Assad,
I don't think I'm
hopefully
giving
he's
up.
coming up if he's
know.
back.
I don't know what the Diamondbacks want. I can see that
Well,
they
we don't,
are.
but let's just say that, let's just hypothetical throw out those two names. Would you be willing to do that to rent Suarez?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. It's a big ask because that's two cost controllable starting pitchers that the Cubs preach.
a lot.
The Cubs preach upon all the
Yeah.
time. I know Wicks hasn't. He's been hurt, and I know the walks were in the command was a big issue, and he went on the IL, and he hasn't pitched that much this year. And maybe his best start was his first start in a Cub uniform last
But
season.
theoretically, you haven't had either guy this year anyways, really.
And come on,
You've had him there, but
just look at this lineup if you add Suarez to it.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be too tempting not to pass up for Jed, and then you're not giving up any top 100 guys. You're basically betting on winning. You're going all
Yeah.
in. That would signal an all in move for me, and I think they are all in. I would give up those two. Yes,
yeah, the
if
Yankees,
that's what it costs.
The
I would
Yankees
give
are the
those two.
flip of the Brewers. They can afford to get rid of as many prospects as they want because they can just go spend whatever they want.
Yeah, they're paying DJ LeMahieu
Right.
to sit at home on his couch right now. They just were like, yeah, you're
Right.
not any good. Here's the rest of your contract. See you later. They don't care. Right. That is the difference.
Eva Wax says if they don't want Wicks, I would do Birdsell, who's one of the Cubs' top pitching prospects. Would you do Wicks and Birdsell?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Or would you do, Assad and Birdsell is what he's suggesting.
I don't think Assad's going anywhere because I don't think his value is low right now. He hasn't pitched all year. So I don't think Assad's getting traded. I think Wicks could get moved. Yes, I think he's very much in the play. Jed said there's no untouchables. I very much think Jordan Wicks is on that type of, he's on the trade block for sure. Whatever trade block you want to, however you want to define trade block. But I think it's going to come down to the Cubs, Brewers, and Yankees for Suarez. It just seems like those are the three teams that have the biggest need at third base. The Brewers desperately need another bat because Hoskins is out until late August,
Yep.
and he's been kind of a thumper in the middle of their lineup. And I cannot express this enough. They don't have players in their lineup right now that are hitting anywhere near the Cubs clip right now. The Cubs have 6 hitters in their starting 9 better than any one of the Brewers starters in their starting lineup right now, according to OPS, home runs. The Brewers don't have a 20 home run hitter right now. Yelich leads the team with 19.
Because they're lucky.
Right. Essentially, yes. So I think Suarez is in play for them, and he's on an expiring deal, so it wouldn't be like it's not going to cap stricken them next year.
Right.
You know, he'll be a strict rental for them, and they'll call it. It is what it is. But the Diamondbacks are in a good position right now because Suarez is playing his best baseball of his career with 11 days to go until they have to make a decision on him. So we'll see what happens there.
Cubs lose 6-1. We will discuss what a lot of people in the chat are asking about coming up after a quick break and a word from our sponsors. Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake is firing off fireworks with big savings all month long. Come in today to shop the Freedom to Save sales event and drive home with $10,000 off MSRP on new Chevrolet models. You can also check out their selection of over 125 vehicles they have priced under $20,000. As one of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, they're able to keep their prices competitive. Plus, the raised price promise lets you shop confidently because the price you see is the price you pay. Go see for yourself. Their convenient location on Route 12 in Fox Lake. Don't miss out on their Freedom to Save sales event going on all month long for $10,000 off MSRP on new Chevrolet models. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or RayChevrolet.com. Ray, baby, we love you. You know what? Confidence is everything. That's what I say. And you can't be confident if you stink. Period. That's it. Mando whole body deodorant. What's that mean? It's safe to use anywhere on your body. Pits, balls, thigh folds, belly buttons, butt cracks, and feet. You name it, it's safe. Choose from a variety of fresh scents like bourbon leather, clover woods, Mount Fuji, and Pro Sport. Clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like the mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide right now with the exclusive code. Use the code CHGO when you shop at Mando.com. At shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide and free shipping. Please support our show. Tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando, and most of all, you won't stink. Cubs lose 6-1. They still take the series against the Red Sox. I mentioned, boy, this is a dreary, depressing Sunday, especially with the Cubs losing after having a 1-0 lead. A lot of stuff going on, right? Like the Rhino message at the beginning of the weekend was tough to read. That, you know, he's talking about he's still fighting, but he's spending every moment with his family. That's difficult to hear. And then you see all the players coming out wearing the jerseys. Jed Hoyer brings up Rhino in the broadcast. So, you know, obviously he's somebody I know. Like, I'm praying for Rhino. I'm hoping it's going well. Everybody here's wishing Rhino well. I know Cubs fans all over the world are. And then we also have everybody's like, well, why isn't Cody here, right? Cody's no longer with CHGO. He's been here since the beginning. It's a difficult moment for all of us. And it's obviously a difficult moment for Cody. And I feel terrible for him. Listen, he put in a ton of hard work on this show, on this network, on this website. A lot of stuff that gets done behind the scenes. He was, you know, front man on that Twitter page. He was in the Discord a lot. And he did it with everything he had. We all make mistakes. Like Cody's still a friend of mine, and there's always more to a story than, you know, what I used to, Cody and I would joke, my line in broadcasting was always, don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. There's always more to the story than just the headline, right? But Cody worked hard here, and I'm going to miss him. And just like I miss Ryan, right? And I want to thank him for all the good times. Hey, I told Cody on the phone on Friday, I was talking to him, and I said, listen, you kept me young. And he's like, oh, no, I didn't. I'm like, yeah, man, I didn't know half the terms you were talking about, mid and sus and all this other stuff. And for all the times he called me brother, like, that's the truth. At the end, Cody is still a brother. Like, I understand everything that's going on, and it's not easy for anybody. And I know some people in the chat are very mad, and I love the fact that you're all supporting Cody. It certainly isn't my decision. I know Cody believes and knows that he made some mistakes, and we all make mistakes. That's life, is about, then responding from those mistakes. But what he's going through is not easy. Been there. Not easy, right? So I know you're going to miss him too. I mean, I didn't know him at all, right? We started the show here. I was in a meeting with Ryan and Cody, and I was like, who are these guys?
Cody and Ryan, two guys that I can confidently call great friends of mine. I came in as my full-time gig is at WGN. I think some people may know that, some people may not. I'm a news and sports guy over there. Jake asked me to come and be a part-time producer here on a startup, and I said, yeah, absolutely, I can't wait. And, obviously I knew watching you growing up, and was absolutely jumping at the opportunity to be a part of a Cubs show. And Cody made me feel like a friend right away. He welcomed me. He did so much for this network. He helped keep baseball. Everybody wants to talk Bears. It's a football network, and God love our Bears team, man. They do a great job. And Cody just fought tooth and nail to keep us, relevant, keep the Cubs. I mean, he did so much with Friday 120. The Discord, like you said, he was a great friend of mine, still is a great friend of mine. And we, like you said, mistakes happen. And I hope that when you see Cody, in the bleachers, wherever you may see him, he will still be around Wrigley Field. He is a tried and true Cubs fan, and God love him for it. I will miss him a lot, and we will move forward though. CHGO Cubs, this is an exciting season. We are going to do our best to bring the best coverage to you. I know you have,
it's not. Is it going to be easy? No, but this is the best Cubs season we've had in a long time. We're going to try and bring you the same stuff. That doesn't mean I'll be doing beer bat chugs. and I know Cody's still going to do great stuff. I told him that. I'm like, this isn't the end of the line for Cody.
Absolutely
I'm
not.
excited, and I wish him well in his future endeavors. I hope I can help him out in whatever that next step is for whatever he decides he wants to do. You'll still see him on Twitter, I'm sure. You're still going to see him at the ballpark. But it doesn't make it any less difficult, that's the real life stuff. Like you go look in today and you look at whatever's going on with Rhino that obviously is very serious. This is serious too, in a different way, right?
Right. Two things can be true at the same time. And I think that you expressed it perfectly. This was not our decision. Mistakes happen.
And it's not, listen, I know everybody in the chat and everybody in Discord, everybody wants answers. First of all, I don't have all the answers because I don't have all the information.
Pretty smart guy. You don't have all the answers?
99% of the time I have all the answers.
Right.
I understand that a lot of people believe Cody was, for him, that he was their heart and soul of this broadcast. Heart and soul of the podcast, the CHGO Cubs, understand all of it. So I would say please support Cody in whatever way, shape, or form you want to do that. I hope you'll stick around and support whatever's next for CHGO Cubs. I actually think Cody would suggest that, although Cody would always say nobody holds a grudge like a Del Mendo. But in this case, he worked really hard to help build what's going on here, and I know that's why this bothers him so much, right? That's one of the reasons it bothers him. Cody's not a bad person.
No.
Okay?
He's not.
And he will still do great things, and we will miss him at CHGO, but we're going to still try and get in Discord. I will try to do more for everybody. I will try to be in Discord more. We will try to keep up with the tweets that he put out. We'll try to keep up with the energy that he brought. As for what the actual plan is for CHGO Cubs, I don't know. I wish I could have the answer for you, and I wish I could tell you all of the reasons and all of these other things. That's Cody's story. If Cody wants to tell you what's going on, Cody will tell you what's going on. He also doesn't have to. Either way, okay?
We still got a great crew going on here too.
Yeah.
We got Luke, we got Kevin, we got Corey, Brendan.
Yeah.
We got Joey that'll hop on. We got Patrick that'll hop on. I'm always here too. So we still have a strong crew here.
It will take a crew.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will take a crew to match the passion of one Cody Delmendo, but like things happen in life, and I know he's already kind of moving towards the next thing, and I don't know who you write to, Barb. I don't know.
And
CHGO Cubs is not going away.
no, we are not.
CHGO Cubs without Cody will be different, just like it was different without Ryan. Okay, and this is it. Like I said, if you want to support Cody, send him a message. He follows a lot of you. Send him a direct message. Alan B says unsubscribe. Okay, that's an opportunity too. If that's what you feel like you want to do, just remember, a lot of the people that are Cody's friends are still here, and we're still pulling for him, and we're still going to help him. And it's a bummer of a weekend. This has gone on. The Rhino tweet has happened, and listen, this is it. No one knows who you guys are. No engagement. It was only Cody that engaged. I understand.
And I do want to that point, I
hear you.
We hear you, man. We hear you loud and clear, and I do just want to say that though it won't be Cody on the set with us anymore, I do hope, and I just know that I work very hard at this. You work very hard at this. We're trying to be good in this industry. We're trying to talk Cubs, get people involved, and be transmitters of information about Cubs baseball and bringing Cubs baseball into your living room and into your lives. We're all trying so hard to do that, and this industry is difficult to do so. I do hope all of you will give, specifically myself, Patrick, Joey, whomever may come on these airwaves, a chance, because I do think that we do have a good crew here, and I do think we do a good job talking Cubs baseball, and the future will be new voices on this podcast. And I know that that's, as someone who is someone who takes in media all the time, I love the Score. That's a competitor of ours. I love listening to the Score. One of my best friends works at ESPN 1000. When shows change, it's hard. It's hard to go away from a voice that you've been hearing for 3 years.
Sure.
But unfortunately, things change, and that happens. I hope people will give us the new shape of CHGO Cubs a chance, and I hope that you will stick with us for this ride.
We don't even know what it is yet.
Right.
So we'll see. All I can guarantee is we're here. We're going to be putting out the content. We'll do more than we have been doing. Sean says, I've been totally dedicated to CHGO since the early days. Through losing Ryan, this is a step too far for me. Hurts my soul. Not acceptable. Listen, Sean knows he's all at the Friday 120 clubs. We're going to try and build back the community, build back all of that. But I understand a lot of people will miss Cody. I will too, but it won't be the last time I see Cody. It won't be the last time I talk to Cody, all right? Cubs lose 6-1. So just a general tough weekend. We will be here with shows coming up. Obviously, the Royals are next. You avoid Bubic, that's good. Royals coming up next. You got to sweep teams like the Royals. You got to sweep teams like the White Sox, because series with the Brewers are still on the horizon.
Yeah, I believe they play the Brewers right after the White Sox, right?
Yeah,
I think it's
Yeah.
Royals,
White Sox, Brewers.
Yeah. So,
and yes, Corey and Brendan are still here. Yes,
and they're great, and we have great coverage here, and
we see
understand.
you in the chat.
Yes.
If you want to reach out, that's cool too. Anyways, thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs podcast, presented by Toyota and Bet365. Appreciate everybody in the live YouTube chat. Appreciate all your opinions, and we'll see you tomorrow night after hopefully a Cubs win against the Royals. Until then, thanks for watching, and fly the W.
We all silly like the mayor.